She says she had to pray for people's souls, both living and dead.
I do believe that people still have faith in God, and they know that despite anything, despite any other thing that can destroy your life, God is still there for us and is our protector.
In Kenya, faith runs deep. Faith that things will get better, that terror won't win. Faith in Buru wanted to get on with a brand new business, renting out her trampoline for children. It took her months to afford, after all.
They want to have their normal life. They want to forget what happened so that they can move on.
People are still traumatized, but they want to get on with the business of living. Nairobi has lived through terror attacks before, but this attack will take weeks, months, perhaps even years to get over.
We are very scared, as well as sad, angry also.
Vivashnu Sharma taught at Ashwell Academy. The terrorists gunned down 3 of her young students. Pramsu excelled at golf. Pavraj was 8. Neha loved to dance.
Friday I saw her in school, and Saturday I got the news she's no more. It's very painful as a teacher.
Sharma says she puts on a brave face in class, but the memories of the dead are still too fresh. David Mackenzie, CNN Nairobi.
And now let's shift our attention to latest revelations about the U.S. government surveillance program. As many wonder about what the NSA does with the data it collects, a report out in the New York Times says the security agency is creating intricate maps of social connections. Former NSA contractor Edward Snowden provided the paper with the security documents, and the new disclosures only exacerbate grave concern among privacy advocates. CNN's Pamela Brown has more.
Isn't only tracking metadata from your phone calls and email logs, it's using that information to create a sophisticated web of social connections of some U.S. citizens, according to documents leaked to the New York Times.
We assume as Americans that if the government is looking at your information, it's because they have a reason, because you're suspected of a crime.
This slide from an NSA PowerPoint presentation shows how analysts use software to create diagrams to chart a person's social ties, locations at certain times, their traveling companions, and other personal information, according to the documents leaked by former government contractor Edward Snowden. The policy shift intended to help the agency discover and track when there's a link between an intelligence interest overseas and a U.S. citizen. The NSA can also draw on material from Facebook profiles, GPS location information, insurance information, property records, and other public and commercial sources to better analyze Americans' phone and email logs.
Now we know from these leaks that this is how the government is operating, that there is a much broader swath of people, that Americans are included in this mix.
In a statement, the agency says, "We know there's a false perception out there that the NSA listens to the phone calls and reads the emails of everyday Americans, aiming to unlawfully monitor or profile U.S. citizens. It's just not the case." NSA Chief Keith Alexander has said a person's individual data is analyzed only when there's a foreign intelligence justification.
The field is wide open in Germany a week after the general election there. Chancellor Angela Merkel's Conservative Party could find common ground with the Social Democrats and form a grand coalition, but it's not a deal. We take a closer look at the political wrangling behind the scenes.
The cards are shuffled, and the players get ready to begin a new game. As well as luck, they'll need to accurately assess their opponent's chances to up their own odds. A common strategy is bluffing, both in poker and politics.
My opponents don't know what cards I have. I try to make them think I have the stronger hand. That may or may not be true. It's a gamble with political parallels.
SPD leader Sigmar Gabriel is a seasoned player. His party is still considering whether to seek another grand coalition with the Conservatives. The party will vote on it, and Gabriel insists they'll deal equally well with any outcome.
We're not afraid of being the opposition, and we're not afraid of being part of the government, if that works out. Neither are we afraid of new elections, if talks fail.
Gabriel is well aware that new elections could backfire for the SPD. but their show of strength and unity is likely to put pressure on the Conservatives, upping the stakes.
The trick is that neither party knows how far the other side is prepared to go. That's the definition of taking a gamble.
The main bone of contention between the two parties is tax policy. The SPD wants tax hikes for top earners. The Conservatives don't. In the upcoming coalition talks, that could prove to be a deal-breaker. On other issues, their policies are more compatible. They both favour higher pensions, benefits for stay-at-home parents, dual citizenship, and a minimum wage in some sectors.
It is now time for the weather report from the Central Forecast Office.
The source assures us of a continuous flow, and from there, everything follows. And for those of us who know what the River Gambia stands for, understanding its sustainability in all aspects of life is easily confirmed. The River Gambia provides nutritious delicacies as food, while it provides its wildlife a balanced ecosystem. This river, as a sanctuary, is committed to its inhabitants' needs without ceasing. And as you travel along, all these values are replicated in one company, Elton, just like the River Gambia, leads in its commitment to values that matter most. Elton, championing the vision for a new generation.
Hello and welcome to the weather segment, beginning with a summary of the weather you did today, followed by humid and intermittently sunny. For what will follow, let's begin with a look at the satellite image captured at 16:30 hours, indicating the emergence of convective clouds, particularly over the central part of the continent, with a deep cluster observed over parts of Burkina Faso. Elsewhere over Africa was generally dry and stable during the period. And for our forecast tonight, we're expecting conditions over the Gambia to be variably cloudy, humid with chances of rain showers. Tomorrow will be variably cloudy, humid, very humid, of course, with up to 75% humidity, with chances of rain showers over places. Winds will continue to be southwesterly in orientation, but generally light to moderate in speed. And we're expecting morning temperature values of 23 degrees Celsius over the Greater Banjul areas and the West Coast region, also over the Lower River region. The rest of the country will record 24 degrees Celsius tomorrow morning. Top temperatures will be 30 degrees Celsius over Banjul, increasing by 1 degree, reaching 31 degrees Celsius over the West Coast region, 32 degrees Celsius over the North Bank and the Lower River region. The Central River and the Upper River regions will record 33 degrees Celsius tomorrow afternoon. We are expecting low tides of 0.6 meters at 12:56 a.m. and 0.5 meters at 1:33 p.m. High tides will be 1.5 meters at 7:32 a.m. and 2 minutes past 8 o'clock in the evening. The sun will rise at 7 minutes to 7 o'clock and will set at 2 minutes to 1900 hours. Thank you and good night.
Before we end this edition of the news, a reminder of our headlines. National Assembly members have given the report on the 2013 Annual Consultative Conference of Speakers of African Parliaments and Clerks a Clean Bill of Health. Red Cross volunteers operating in the West Coast region and Kanifing municipality have been familiarizing themselves with basic community health and first aid as part of efforts aimed at mitigating the effects of disasters. Days after Kenyan law enforcement officers ended the deadly siege on the Westgate Mall, lawmakers are preparing to grill top security officials over suspected intelligence failures in the lead-up to the attack. And U.S. President Barack Obama and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu are preparing to meet at the White House to discuss a broad range of issues ranging from Iranian nuclear issue to the Syrian conflict. That's all in this edition of the news. Thank you very much for your time. Stay tuned and enjoy the rest of our programs.